You are listening to the Atlanta Real Estate Forum radio show, all about real estate edition, shining a light on the movers and shakers in the real estate industry, the home builders, developers, realtors, and suppliers making it all happen. And now, here are today's hosts.
Good morning and welcome back to the All About Real Estate edition. I am your host, Todd Schnick, joined by my friend and colleague, Carol Morgan. Before we begin, we do want to thank New American Funding for being our 2021 show sponsor, now our 10th year on the air. It has been wonderful having them as our friend and partner this year. All right, Carol Morgan, we've had this lady on the show before. She's a neat lady doing some important work out in the industry. Always enjoy our conversations with her.
Absolutely. So we're joined today by Kim Arrington with New American Funding. She is a branch manager, and she has a really cool new title that we're going to dive into what all that's about on today's show. She is the Diversity and Community Engagement Director. So welcome back to the show, Kim. Take a minute and tell us all about yourself.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to join you today. So yes, New American Funding moving forward in 2021. The new umbrella, the community engagement piece, the diversity initiative is really just kind of pulling it all together. Our passions in helping all home buyers find an affordable path forward. So, we've had our Latino initiatives and different products that were birthed out of that to really help that community be successful in lending and purchasing. So now we're moving over and we're also examining how do we help the minority buyers? What's really key? And we addressed a couple of key points. This year we focused on financial literacy. In that sphere, we're out there in the community continuing to hold workshops on budgeting, educating on how to plan to become more mortgage ready, helping facilitate the home buyer, coordinate them with the right housing agencies so that they're spending those dollars wisely while becoming more credit ready to handle that purchase, because what we want to ensure is the sustainability of them in that home. And the pandemic was a great experience actually to go through and say, look, were we doing a good job with that? How many of our borrowers, for me, it was how many of my minority borrowers suffered or needed types of assistance to maintain the home, or even experienced a early payment default or foreclosure. So we saw that we had a lot of success on making sure our consumers were educated. In addition, we look at a lot of other programs we offer in-house, some of our down payment assistance programs. We layer them also with offering a down payment assistance, but a home buyer education piece. We've made it very flexible, even at home, online. But the essential point there is ensuring that they're understanding payment, budget, what to do after the fact, how to remit it and stay on track. We've then spread this out when I look at community initiatives, events as recent as we were invited to Henry County to speak to the community about financial literacy and home affordability options. And from that, we're now going to start offering some more ongoing financial literacy classes in the community at their facility. And that's really where the end game is. If we can be planted and continue to educate a group of one community at a time, we're empowering them. Little things that people may not recognize, just say within my community, being a person of color, banking principles. A lot of buyers come to a lender and might show that they have a Chime card or they're not using any kind of a bank. A lot of my minorities are using more popular celebrity business cards. We're shifting now. There's some new African-American banks that have recently launched. So there's different banking principles. But to a lender or an originator who is not savvy to the diversity and what that means, you might receive that application and have a bias, unaware that you're creating a bias that they're not able to afford purchasing, but they are. So my job as a lender and being a part of this community is having that conversation. So it looks like if you have a Chime card, Jeff, that's great. Here's what you're going to need to be better prepared when you meet with your loan officer. Let's print out that transaction report. Oh, transaction report. Let me break it down. That activity statement. There's got to be a way for you to see all your charges going in and out. Let's print that history out for the past 30 days, 60 days, because a loan officer wants to understand how you're spending money, that you don't have any bills that aren't on the credit report, and basically that you can afford to make that mortgage payment. That conversation is a lot different than if I switch gears and I have it with my other borrower, Carol. I'm meeting with you. So I'm just going to simply say, we need 2 months bank statements. You're good. And that quarterly stock portfolio, we'll need that most recent one and the terms of withdrawal. You get it. You're a different buyer. There was nothing condescending, but it is about how to have the conversation that resonates with the consumer and helps them then be successful to accomplish their goal.
But why do all this effort around diversity and bridging this gap with people of color? I mean, New American Funding is an enormously successful company. It's well respected in the industry. It's got great people. It's got great products. Builders love being partnered with you. But why do you need to go so above and beyond what is necessary and expected to focus on?
It's interesting because we do have such a positive experience with our builder relationships, for example, and a high number of those consumers that come out of my builder communities are all people of color. In one shape, form, or fashion or another. They're people of color. And then we back it up to our customer service surveys, what that experience was like for them going through the process. Looking at those experiences, not all were 100% pleasant in the sense that they didn't understand everything. And when you talk to them on the back end after closing, I didn't understand I needed this. That shows where there were some weaknesses we could better arm those buyers. Or let's look at the fact that right now there are 3.4 million mortgage-ready consumers out there that are not purchasing because they don't know that appropriate next step. Or let's look at, we are involved in the community for different reasons. We do a lot of great volunteer work, okay? I'm involved with professional women in building and home aid projects that we have out there. And there's Habitat for Humanity. HBCU schools, we're going in there. That's great. Guess what? They want to buy, but they're not sure how to take that next step. And a lot of them, especially we're right in the Southeast, so we have a high number of minority with the colleges. And so helping them understand that you can buy coming right out of college and taking a survey to find out that they did not realize the power of their diploma as a part of work history, to be able to purchase, knowing they got a job the next day at Coca-Cola, right. A lot thinking, I needed a 2-year and at the same job. So it's educating.
It's interesting, Kim, and I guess Todd, back to your question, what I'm seeing with different corporate diversity, equity, and inclusion, initiatives, because lots of people have them going right now. And it's because it's the right thing to do, but it also really, really trains your staff on how to talk to people. So they become better at their job working with everyone, not just minorities, not just women, not just, whatever, the groups are. They become better, overall because they're listening and they understand better the process and what to ask. Because if you don't ask the right question, you won't get the right answer.
There you go. Yeah. And that's where it came back. We focus a lot on our customer experience, if you will.
Yep.
That's huge for us at New American Funding. So being able to pick on areas where there was an opportunity to build more confidence with that consumer is what I think lent to that. And knowing that there's not always a lot of available resources for people to go to. There's housing agencies, yes, and they're great, and I love partnering with them. But there's a lot of popular fixture credit. And a lot of our consumers, come out using the credit cards or the cell phones, and the student loans are all in trouble. And they're using the Fix My Credit and then getting to the closing table. And you know how that lender's just got to pull one more credit check to make sure you didn't buy anything. And then everything comes back out as a domino effect.
Yeah, they bought a car.
Fix My Credit didn't fix me. It fixed me where I had to wait a little longer. So educating them on a smarter way to approach it using our resources.
Well, talk a little bit about education. I know you have a new program for financial literacy in schools. Yeah. Tell us about that.
Yes. So partnering with financial literacy, and one of our colleagues is going to be doing this tomorrow in a Buckhead church. And it's really sitting down with a group. If we can get a group to open their doors, allow us to come in, we're going to be breaking it down for them in budgeting, giving them worksheets to literally make you sit and think, similar to a Dave Ramsey, if you will. But sit and think and list out everything that you've got going on so you can see for yourself, how mortgage ready are you? And for you to be able to see in black and white when you're looking at your numbers, where you are from renting today to where you're planning to go, because they all have lofty goals of, I got to have me that $300,000 house, or I can't live below, I can't do anything with 200. Okay, but let me show you the mortgage payment. And if you've not been paying that, then let's challenge you maybe to a goal of putting that in a savings for 3 to 6 months, holding their hand and being accountable with them to check in. They survive that, then they'll be ready for that next step. So I know that this is a proven fact and worked, because last year we had a great testimony. One of my clients calling us back, bought in a new construction. I took her through this process, and she called in and she was diagnosed with a terminal illness. And she was the first person in her family to purchase a home. And it was super important, but she remembered what I said at the closing table. Don't you dare let something happen that you couldn't call me. As many times as we talked during the process, you call me no matter what before it's too late. And she called, and we were able to jump in there, and we worked with her and an agent. She sold the home. We made sure everything was in decency and order. And she passed away, not with a foreclosure or a short sale, but with that dignity in the family that someone did achieve home ownership. They can do it too. It was the excellence of going full circle, that financial literacy class that we offer that teaches them on how to be mortgage ready, how to get pre-approved, how to talk to all the different principals in the process, from agent to inspector, how to get educated on interviewing them, how to interview the lender, whether it's me or someone down the street, how to ask those questions and not necessarily pull your credit 3 different times to get to the end goal, helps them feel empowered in the process. You have a buyer who's easily engaged. Things are smoother from submitting that loan, going through the approval process and clearing the conditions, to the buyer that then gives you that 5-star survey, because everything was just check the box because they understood before they took that leap. That's the power behind financial literacy, and the power behind New American Funding, I believe, is that we make the commitment to be with you from contract to close, but we're there afterwards. That's what makes me proud going into my 6th year here, to still be on this platform, because it's not just, hi, Carol, can I get your name, date of birth, social security number, and where you've been living for the past 2 years? It's the whole experience.
Well, this and the focus on financial literacy with these people is, it helps them fulfill their dream of getting a home. But boy, the lessons learned and the principles taught and the discipline that's seeped into them impacts the balance of their life.
Yeah.
And other elements. I mean, it goes beyond just the home too, so when what you're teaching them and what you're encouraging them, what you're shining a light on for them is going to benefit them in other elements of their life beyond their home, which is, I hadn't really thought of that before, but it struck me as I was hearing you.
Agents, we've had these to offer financial literacy to real estate brokerages. Now that makes you feel good that the agents have heard you say, we're going to work with your client. Then to have the agent say, hey, can you sit down with us and take us through? That is key. That is community. That has no color. That is just spreading the information one community at a time. We target certain fields, whether law enforcement and nursing, we go through that. There are different months that highlight those agencies, so then we'll be more intentional with them. But that is where that community piece is so irrelevant. Then making ourselves available to our wide array of builders that we are partnered and very fortunate to have their trust, to ask them, look, if there's the opportunity that you want us there to help educate buyers, regardless if we're working with them personally, just to give them that financial literacy. They might be under contract. But if you, that builder, would like us to have an informal workshop on a Saturday or a Sunday, taking them through, because there's still the do's and don'ts while you're in that process and how to prepare for after closing, that's another resource we're now availing to them because you're a referral partner. So what we're trying to ensure is that the community is more stable after that purchase. We're building a better community together. Well, no matter who the lender is, no matter what the look or makeup of the consumer is, but that major purchasing experience, let it have a ripple effect, that it's positive to all of us that are still in that community and attached to it.
Amen.
New American Funding is committed to delivering home loans on time while providing 5-star service. Their 14 business day close guarantee and fully underwritten pre-approval gives you an unbeatable 1-2 punch impossible for sellers to ignore. For more information on New American Funding, call 678-898-3540. That's 678-898-3540.
You've talked about some of your partners, and I understand you've got some new community referral partners. Do you want to give a shout out to any of those?
Yeah, so really excited. Like Home Free USA is an amazing referral partner that we're very blessed to work with, and they have a national platform. It just gives an example to what I was saying about being able to have for some of my clients where they need a lot more hand-holding that an average loan officer could give every day, day in and day out, when you're talking budgeting, when you're talking accountability on what they spent this week, and that check-in to see that bank statement again on Friday after payday, and did they budget accordingly and pay their bills, and helping them to write letters to creditors and work on settlement offers. See, Home Free USA can do that. And what's really nice is they're a licensed HUD agency. So as that buyer is now mortgage ready and stronger, and also having completed an 8-hour home buyer class while they're engaged with them, it can be done virtually, online, and or in person. They come back to us, they're ready to go under contract. You have just such a better experience, the understanding of interest rates, because you see the market today. Today is a red alert day, not so good to law. But to a consumer that's not savvy, they just hear that it's a 2%. Why not get the 2%? You're not, I need to go over here. But when they're a little bit more educated to the process, they can then own it better, each piece of it. That mortgage payment, that interest rate, anything that you throw at them, they know what's going on.
And owning it is such a key to feeling good about your life and where you're going and all that. So that's huge. Well, I went into this conversation thinking, I don't know what else New American Funding could do on these fronts. You guys are already leading and doing some, but this new initiative just continues to blow me away as how you guys continue to push the boundaries and excel and do more for these communities and providing leadership and education. Any final comments on this New American Dream initiative and kind of the end goal of where this thing is gonna continue to lead?
I think our end goal is when we can look at every community in our Southeast and be able to look at that map and go, can we put a pin that we showed up in that community and try to impact it for change, not for profit. And that's what gets me so excited, right? Because we're going in there, we're just like, I just want to share this knowledge. If given the opportunity for you to open the door to allow us to come in and just make them aware of what your county, what your community offers, its different affordable lending products, to be able to ensure that they know the process that's available to them, irregardless of who the lender is, and or to make sure that they're empowered with the information if they are a homeowner, what those resources are in the community, through whether Department of Community Affairs to maintain their home. And that's impacting our communities for change. That's a holistic approach, and that's helping all of us, because we are all our brothers and sisters keepers.
No doubt about it. All right. Well, Kim, gosh, yet another inspiring conversation with you, and I'm so grateful for the work that you're out there doing. Before we let you go, should anyone need to connect with you directly to learn more about your diversity and community engagement work, how do they find you? And then again, obviously, should anyone need to learn more about New American Funding and all of its great programs, where do they go?
Sure. Well, I'd love them to come visit me at mathhomes.com/Kim Arrington. You'll see a wealth of information, or they can reach out to me more personally at 678-644-6945. And we have a wonderful team here to assist you. We have a bilingual team here at our corporate office, some phenomenal loan officers. So no matter who you are, where you are in your walk or your journey in this process, we'd love to be able to come alongside and partner with you. And thank you for having me today.
Oh, the pleasure is always ours. Kim Arrington, Branch Manager and a Diversity and Community Engagement Director with New American Funding. Kim, as always, great to have you. Thanks again for stopping by and joining us and for your important work.
Thanks. You guys have a great day.
You as well. All right. Well, that wraps this week's All About Real Estate edition. Again, on behalf of our show sponsor, New American Funding, my co-host, Carol Morgan, I am Todd Schnick. That's all the time that we have for today. Thank you for tuning in and listening. And we'll look forward to seeing you again right here tomorrow. We'll see you then.
Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio is made possible by Denim Marketing, the publisher of Atlanta Real Estate Forum, Atlanta's favorite source for real estate and home building news. Denim Marketing is a comfortable fit, like your favorite pair of jeans. Denim Marketing tailors marketing strategies to meet your specific needs and niche. Try them on for size. They will work to create a perfect fit for your company's marketing program. Call them at 770-383-3360 or send an email to info@denimmarketing.com. For more information on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio or to inquire about being a guest, contact info@atlantarealestateforum.com. Check out the radio show by visiting atlantarealestateforum.com or by listening to the show on your favorite podcast app. And if you enjoyed today's broadcast, we'd sure appreciate a rating and review on iTunes. Thank you again for listening, and we'll see you next time on Atlanta Real Estate Forum Radio.